The story begins in Brooklyn, where the alien moloids are invading Earth. Miles and Tony are unaware of what is happening and unsure whether to fight. Tony hasn't seen moloids in ages, and Miles believes they might be here for a specific reason. Normally, the moloid leader, called the Mole Man, runs the show for them, but Tony doesn't see him. Also, this doesn't look like an invasion. They're just having fun and eating food like it's spring break. Tony asks a moloid what he is doing here and where the Mole Man is. The moloid responds that the Mole Man is busy with his things. He explains that generation after generation of moloids tell stories about glory days invading New York City. However, for his generation, there is no invading. They watch television and desire the bright lights, food, and excitement. This is the first generation of moloids who grew up watching TV shows and never experienced an invasion. Still, Tony can't let them run wild, so he decides to call in big guns. Miles stops him, saying they are just kids, but Tony tells him to relax as he's just calling his former client relations and event coordinators to bring food trucks for the moloids. The moloids get what they want, and Miles is amazed that Tony fixes the problem by throwing money at it. Miles tells Tony about a man called Accessor, a tech guy who kidnapped him. Accessor ran every kind of test on him, wanting to know how his power worked until his heart was fit to burst. He cries while telling this painful story to Tony. Accessor said he would go after Miles' family next. Miles was saved by his dad and Uncle Aaron, who came to get him out. Accessor and his crew bug it out, but they're still out there. Tony is interested in meeting Accessor, claiming no one's tech is better than his. Miles warns him not to underestimate Accessor, who is crewed up and has some kind of teleporting guy. Miles tells Tony that Accessor used drones as part of his tests, and he took down one of them before getting kidnapped. Tony scans the drone that Miles destroyed to track Accessor's location, and discovers he is still in Brooklyn. Tony infiltrates Accessor's building, encountering many armies, but he takes them out in a second with his wide dispersal fan beam. They are lucky that Miles didn't know the Punisher, as they would have come off a lot worse. Tony left a cohort of hunt drones outside to tag anyone leaving the building for later arrest. After a while, he comes across 3 armies waiting with a machine gun, but they don't even get a chance to fire. They are dead in an instant. Then a teleporting guy called Quantum shows up to confront him. Quantum teleports his fist to hit Tony in his helmet, causing him to bleed. This is where Tony starts to lose his momentum. He is brought to meet Accessor, who is actually an AI, and Tony is given the nickname 04502B. Tony blows off the room to find the exit, but it leads him into another one. He releases a couple of spider robots called Electo units before entering. Actually, this is a test room. He is tested against a wind tunnel and laser beams. After a while, the wind tunnel is destroyed by his micro-munitions, but that only leads him into other tests. He is shocked, drowned, burned, wrapped, fallen, and even faced against a killing robot. Though, he still manages to pass through all of it and finds Accessor. But as long as Quantum is there, he can't get to Accessor. He can't even get close to Quantum, and gets a hell of a beating until he decides to use his laser to knock him out. He discovers that Accessor is hard linked to this facility to access his data. That's why he dropped a couple of Electo units in the building's infrastructure to attack Accessor's systems and drones. He takes Accessor as his prisoner until Accessor tells him what he needs to hear. Elsewhere, Quantum confronts Accessor about removing this unknown energy source from him because the contract stated that if Accessor loses his Omicron, the contract would be voided. Unacceptable losses were incurred in the Brooklyn facility, including the Omicron. Accessor responds that Quantum might be misunderstanding. They will honor their contract to remove this energy from Quantum, but not right now. And that's it for this comic. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and like this video to support my content.